Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. Today we are on Chiron. A new map added to the ladder. It's 20x20 and have a slightly lower rated game than usual. For one, because I kind of want to show off this map, and also it's quite an interesting game. I didn't watch it all the way to the end, but saw a fair bit of it and it's kind of interesting. So the players, we have Mountain, is the blue Cybern in the bottom right, and in the top left we have the red Aeon player Silene Undulata. So we have a fair old rating gap here, about 150 points at the time of playing, and the map Chiron. So this is a map made by Mad Mozart, and I made the initial concept for the map, and then we worked on the concept together. But he did all the hard work of actually making the map. So the basic idea was to have a sort of 10x10 almost land map in the middle, and then have a set into a 20x20 map with islands and navy on the outside. And so that was the idea. So you can, or you should in fact, be sending your ACU to the middle and have a kind of 10x10 land map style battle here, you know, with some water in the middle, and some reclaim, some expansions to grab, plateau action up here. See some reclaims spread out. And then we have the outside naval play, these islands. These two islands on the side, you have to actually drop on this part. You can't walk up on it. So you have many options where to say drop your first transport and so on. And we do see both players just rushing a transport immediately. No interceptors, just a transport and a scout. Silene, slight mistake here, sort of a bit slow to use the transport, and also making the engineers walk to the transport is not ideal. Mountain, although he is a bit faster, he also kind of delayed slightly, probably trying to decide where he should drop because it is kind of tricky. So he's going to spread out his drop. Silene also giving a few orders. Actually, if people don't know how to do that, you just grab the transport and then you just click on NGs, you see the highlight, and then you can drop individual ones or groups. Just, it's kind of buggy, so if you like try to cancel orders and so on, you will probably bug out the transport slightly. It will not drop exactly how you want. So just careful of that if you are canceling orders and stuff like that. So we have a couple NGs to the hydro, a couple NGs here, one over here to get these mexes. There's one thing about this map for sure. You gotta have some APM to play this map. With all the dropping, a lot of mexes to grab, a lot of places to defend. You can see this main island. I think every single mex here can actually be raided by frigates. You can see the terrain. They're kind of on the top of a hill, so you can actually hit them and close enough to shore. idle air factory, idle engineers, not ideal. We have another drop going off. And we have bomber coming out. So a few more things about the map. We have a lot of tree groups actually in this green band around the central lake. There's actually a fair few tree groups which you can use. Problem for me here is I can't really tell you exactly how to play this map because it has not been played very much, and even on ladder there's not that many high level games played so far. We have drop here. You can just, I think walking here is actually fine. You can just send a couple NGs as we see Silene doing. Dropping works too. I think dropping I would probably prioritize these islands because there's reclaim here. There's not that much reclaim except these couple of frigates. But usually you can drop here, get some reclaim. Hydro is very nice on a map like this. You can see there's a few hydros around to grab. It's really nice on a map this size to get those hydros. We have an upgrade started. So if you start an upgrade and you've fucked up by starting it, you don't have the power, you should really just cancel and so you can actually use your SU. There's no point in just standing there with a paused upgrade that's at 0%. Just yeah, you're just wasting your ACU by doing that. And we have a drop here to the left. Again, some more APM needed. Can't be blamed. Oh, that's interesting. So let's see. First goal is obviously you got to be secured at least in your 2 main bases on this island. So you want to get factories up quickly, as we see Selena's done. Pretty nice land spam. Adjacency would be nice too, but not essential when you have so many other things to do. So you really want to just get up a lot of factories, get your land spam going, try and grab as many of these mechs as possible. A few gestures, or here and there to pull your opponent around, certainly helpful. Air can obviously be very powerful with its huge mobility. The NG escapes, the transport dies. He's actually stealing some nice reclaim here. This upgrade, yeah, you can see it's still not continued at all. Still no power for it. So yeah, actually a pretty bad mistake. You could be pushing with your units, or maybe going to middle, or securing this side, or any number of things. Should definitely be grabbing hydrocarbon, especially if you're stalling. You should be looking for the hydras you can actually take, like this one. And we have some subs and frigates out for both players. Very annoying to deal with frigates on this map actually. I've played it a few times, mostly actually in a team setting, kind of 2v2, where it's pretty interesting. You can have a back player and a mid player. But Mountain certainly was slower getting these factories up. He has got quite a few up now, but they're delayed quite significantly. So certainly an advantage for Silene. It's also useful to grab this plateau. You can even build MMLs to deny the expansion and just generally be annoying with maybe some RDs and get some great radar coverage at the very least. Mountain is actually retreat to the water to make T2, I would say. It is certainly a lot safer to head to the water, but it has its own dangers that if he had his commander here, he would certainly not be under so much pressure from these Aurora. He also has not opted to go for T2. Oh, I have mistaken. There's T2. And he's making a PD way back. Probably, yeah, bombers working nicely for him. And the frigate rating is pretty nice too. You can see they're actually able to kill mexes on the main island without too much trouble. So this PD should stop the... Oh. It doesn't really have the range, so I'd say it's sort of misplacing these PDs at the minute. Certainly if you build this one, you want to use the space this one gives you to go a lot further forward and properly close the gap. But it's very expensive to defend this way. Not ideal. I'd probably rather just get some rhinos out. You don't want to be making mantis out of your T2 HQ. Over here, I think he's realized that you can't actually get down to this location. This could perhaps be telegraphed a bit better that this is a full plateau, but there you go. A lot of reclaim being left here and not much advantage for Silene to push. This is a whole lot better. Killing the entire base, gonna take out this factory, which is actually going to T2 support. Well, he does finish it off. Left one mechs behind, but that's not the worst thing. This poor hoplite just got killed in a single volley. One thing you can do actually to get down here is, well, this guy is down there, but if you're up top, I think you can edge build a factory down to the bottom. But now, what we need is a radar. That's really what we need here for Mountain. He's doing okay in the Navy game. He's got some raiding done, killed some mexes. Denying a naval factory up here. Needs to make sure he kills these guys, but the torp launcher is gonna go up. It should die pretty fast though. Torp launcher is not really a match for some Cybern frigates. We still have T1 units streaming in. And this was an ill-advised T2 P-Gen. It's actually kind of funny. T2 Air, good choice. We don't have any T2 P-Gen though. He has quite enough power at the minute. All these PDs really in awful positions. I mean, you don't have to defend with these things. Straight building a T2 mechs. So, what is the play? Will we have T2 Navy perhaps? Or, well, he already has the T2 Air. He just needs to get using it. Here's the gunship. And I think, I mean, Cybern PD, bit of a thing on the forum about it. People crying, you know, it's too weak, and it, you know, it's not the best. But first Aurora, it's pretty much the best. It's just gonna rip them to shreds and leave all the reclaim for you. Unfortunately, the hoplites will probably kill some of that reclaim, but they're very effective versus Aurora as well. Already see they have 20 kills between the two of these. And more on the way. A lot of kills for these guys as well. And Mountain is grabbing a few mechs on the left here. Again, definitely need more radars. So you can actually see where the attacks are coming from. And just allows you to actually react properly. I have a few subs, but they're not going to stop these Cybern frigates from denying more naval production. If T2 mechs is sort of just sprouting up all over the place. More naval production trying to be built here, and we have T2 Navy on the way. So once you reach this point, you've held off the Aurora hordes. You probably want to just Control K, reclaim several of these T2PD. But up here we have actually Silene. Oh my, that's no good. Gun range done. That took a long time because it was paused. But then we have T2, and of course those are both on the same arm. So Silene is actually upgraded range, which is a fine upgrade. Very nice. Obviously a great weapon for the Aeon. But then he's gone and upgraded T2, which removes it. I don't think he ever actually used the range at all. But now he has T2 and he has a lot of mass to use it to make a lot of PDs quite quickly. And hoplites die in one Oblivion Blast if they don't have the first vet level. So another good weapon to use, and he's gonna just T2 PD creep into Mountain. It's very, very focused on this particular point of attack. I think he feels if he can push this, then he probably wins the game from there, which is probably correct, but I would definitely have liked to see more support for the ACU. T2 land, certainly T3 land even could be done at this stage. We're 20 minutes in. Mountain is just desperately trying to hold on. Maybe a better choice for him would be stealth gun and just use T2 engineers to get the PDs up. But T2 commander gives a certain security. Helps versus snipe, certainly, if you sense one coming. These hoplites were focus firing the ACU, which was pretty stationary. He's taking a lot of damage now, so has to be careful. Probably want to mix in more arties, so that it's just sending all these Aurora in. They're just going to get shredded by the Cerberus turrets. But if you can get them that close, then you'd much rather get arties in there instead of Aurora. So they obviously do a lot more damage. We have gunships killing T1 pigeons in the base and actually getting a fair few kills. You can see they can hit multiple pigeons at once with that AoE, and we have all the build powers dead around here. T2 naval almost complete. Over back here we have a couple cruisers out. They can't do a whole lot. The terrain is sufficient to stop a lot of shots, but a if you have the range, then you can actually shoot up there with the arc. Here we have T3 land for mountain. Probably doesn't even need T3 land. Could just go for Vipers, for example, and just try and push Silene back. Silene actually building a T2 pigeon on the front. I mean, if that's where you have the T2 tech, then that's where you have to build it. Not ideal, but not a mistake either. Maybe a mistake to be in that situation, but not a mistake right there to actually build a T2 pigeon. It's just gotta be very careful not to get pushed back. With every passing minute, he's more committed to this position. And now, that's not something you want to see. Those massive trebuchet shots landing. Definitely need a radar. See, I think a lot of people don't play with rings on, these range rings, but I think the one I could never do without, I mean, I actually play with basically all of them on, which is, it's a bit cluttered, and but really the radar one is the main one for me. I could not play without that. I have to know exactly what I can see and where things could be. If I can't see that, then it's very difficult. So some players perhaps don't play with the rings on at all and don't have this radar ring, so they don't even know where exactly the edge is. But oh, this looks quite bad. This PGen is surely going to go down now to this brick, and that's probably going to cause a stall unless we have another one built. And we have one building, and we have T2 land coming up finally, but no T2 air. The only T2 tech is the commander, so he's actually stuck now building a T2 PGen. Oh, we actually have wow, the HQ died. How exactly did it die? Well, I don't see the cruisers, so I guess there's a... Yeah, we have a lot of dead T1 Navy here. Just a bit of a suicide attack into this production. The cruisers, these are probably the two cruisers, but just had a lot of T1 Navy move in and kill that T2 Naval HQ. Significant amount of reclaim, and one Destro remains, but definitely a painful loss. Now we have air fight conclusively won by Silene, which is good for him. But again, no T2 air. I think you should have T2 air in this map. It's a very, very powerful option. You want to be able to make use of all those options on this map. T2 air, I would say, is more useful than T2 Navy generally on this map as well. Over here we see some valuable mexes going down. On the left, it's gonna be hard for an Exodus to hit some loyalists. Does land one shot at least. This guy's almost dead. But you can see so many mexes to be taken for both players. Some Salems heading to possibly even, well, there doesn't seem to be much in the way of to stop these guys. So this base looks very vulnerable. Over here, Silene is under some trap fire still, but holding on. 45 kills on this guy. The loyalists actually in the hallway back here. once again, nothing to kill them. Another one of the many uses for T2 air. Get some gunships out and defend raids. Get some torp bombers and defend and attack some lone Salems in your territory. Otherwise, building a lot of interceptors does not give you that much value. We have a huge T1 naval army that will surely be able to kill this this T2 HQ. Mountain has no radar in the base, so he doesn't know it's coming. So he's gonna feel that in a moment, and it's gonna hurt. He has retreated to the water. I'm not sure why. Perhaps he's afraid of being sniped or something, but not sure. Not sure. We have Harbs out, so T3 land for Silene. And the Trebs have retreated. Good move. And the Harbs, they're just kind of going in face first into these very deep PDs. So we're kind of all over the place. Whoa. Okay. And now the Salems decide to go back to the water. But this base is going to die, and that's going to be a lot of power. There's already a lot of power dead, and Silene has to be aware. Okay. There's some overflow, so it should be fine. We have 3 T2 gens. This is a... So we've got basically... Silene has to be completely committed to this position. We have T2 mexes all over the place here. We have basically all build power on land. All of the power. And we have the T3 HQ, and we have the commander. So there can be no retreat from here. This is, you hold this or you die position. Whereas the base, actually, it's kind of give and take. Like, it's basically dead, but it's not such a big deal. There was no T2 pigeons there. There was no HQs there. There wasn't much of anything, to be honest. Just a few mexes you want to keep, but not the worst thing in the world. T2 radar would be lovely. If we could see what's going on in this base. Actually, you could even make some T2 arties. That would be a play, and just force this position down. Certainly, I mean, even if you build one arty, you can target this PGen, take it out very quickly, take out the mexes and the PDs. So an arty is quite effective, quite accurate. This mex could have, we see some of these mexes were obviously T2, judging by the dead storages around them. Missed this one here, but all the rest of them have died. They were all T2, and the HQ is dead, so a lot of damage done here. But there is no T2 Navy, no Destro to take out the PGen or the HQ. We do have a Destro here now, but the Silene actually he sees all the major targets, and he is going after the HQ. And we actually have a Destro over here, which can attack the base very effectively. Takes out this PGen, nice kill to have. He should actually immediately aim for the PGen here, because he's killed this one. Losing one PGen is manageable. Losing both at the same time, that's obviously much worse. So he could actually just take these two, and you know, he can take out the HQ in just 5 shots, I would say. I think his base has been killed, but he actually saved one engineer and built a factory. That's kind of beautiful for him. The loyalists and the brick have missed some targets, but done a lot of damage. See, this guy here is not dead. These could be dead as well. He did kill these ones, which are T2. And now we have... Oh, I missed it. We had a lot of harbs. There's probably some overcharges in it. Wow, that's... And mounted got quite low, I think. I'm not sure how mountain escaped there with that many harbs. If they were all shooting at once, I'm sure he would actually have died, but now he survives. And it's a lot of reclaim here. Silene now under the same kind of pressure. But there's so many shields, I don't know how the loyalists will get through them. This PGN is under attack. And it is taking some damage. These guys can't do shit. There goes one PGen, and that's it. The PDs do their work, and oh, he's stalling. So if you're stalling, you want to build just straight on top, so it's a lot faster and costs less energy. If you're not stalling, then it's fine to build it from scratch and get the reclaim. But if you're stalling power, I would just build it right back on top. We have, again, this is all cleared out. The Salems do their work. Over here we have more carnage. This PGen's still not dead and the HQ's still alive. So these exoduses have been generally idle, it seems. And all of Selene's air has been killed. He never replaced his air production after it died in his main base, so Mountain should be aware of that and be using that advantage, but he really doesn't just have space to build. He was under pressure here in his main base. He was under severe pressure here, so that would be the point where you're migrating bases. You want to have shit spread around where your opponent is not looking. So he could be building specifically, I would say, on this plateau would be a good place to have a base. I remember playing TA for Life, and on a lot of maps he would have some place away from an expansion or in one of the less important expansions, and he would just build his Corsairs and his air production there. For example, like at maybe on the plateau, one of the plateaus of open palms, or in the back base, for example, or say up on the plateau away from the mexes on Niflheim, stuff like that, where your opponent is not scouting, because usually when you're scouting, you're not really scouting, as in to find where things are, but to actually just see what you already kind of expect is there. So you're probably not scouting this location for an airbase, for example. That's what I'm trying to say. So that would be a good place and quite safe, especially when he has, I mean, Salem's across here. He's gonna spot something coming. There's not gonna be T2 Navy coming over here to kill this. So he could definitely have taken advantage of the air control after destroying this base. See, he's kind of struggling to spend his resources, doesn't have the power. He did finally lose this PGen. I guess the Exoduses finally killed that. Didn't kill the HQ, but that's okay. We have more power struggles, which is really painful as the Aeon. Obviously the Obsidians need power and the Harbingers need power. So he's taking direct health damage with all these shots, which is not going to regen while the shield is down. More T2 PGen's gone up. You can see that at this stage of the game, you're at 40 minutes. If we hadn't had base wipes, we would be seeing, well, you'd be seeing T3 pigeons with this kind of late stage of the game. We have a lot of harbingers, a lot more T3 land here than the mountain has available. And mountain's still seriously struggling with power. It doesn't look like he's building T2 pigeon anywhere. I can't see one being built. Ugh. It's not good. Where's the commander? We have him back here. Yeah, pretty poor reaction right now, but I mean, you're 40 minutes into a game. I can completely understand what happens. He is actually building a pigeon, of course he is. But yeah, not the best place to build it. But still, it is built. He has a bit more power income. We have Silene on the march with his entire group of harbingers, 25 now, and mobile shields as well to help his ACU out. He has first shield, he has range gun. Should have got sensors actually. That would be very nice. You can see where everything is and not need forward radars and stuff, which is quite vulnerable. He can really just push in, and there's no way this small army can stop this many harbingers. He can take control of the central island, I'm sure. Now the major problem I have, well, we have 4 flags. You want to always, in this scenario, you're against a T3 army, and you have the range guns, so you want to stay behind your harbingers, because if you get just a few too many T3 units that get in range of you, your commander's going to die really fast. They have just such a high damage output. Got to be very careful. Also got to be careful of some sneaky bricks coming in behind your base, but there they go. HQ about to go down. This poor T2 pigeon goes down, and Silene also needs to be doubly careful now because there's no overcharge. Building maybe a few too many shields are pretty expensive. I think I would just turn those off now. They're not actually serving any purpose because the fight is won. So they're just doing more harm than good at this stage. Huge win. Now what can Mountain do from... what can Mountain do? Yeah. So the mid-island is secure, so what does Silene need to do? Well, it needs to get air production. There's still like 0 air production. This is just making scouts. So Mountain could have just been making T2 air this entire time. We have some torp bombers. We have T2 Navy, which is shooting the cliffs. And we have a few Corsair. Actually, that's one thing you could be doing. Looks like he just dropped his ACU home, but he could be dropping this guy all over the place with complete air control. Could be making maybe a T3 commander, at least a T2 commander would be good. And be dropping him, could be killing this, taking it over, it could be taking over all kinds of places. Could be dropping this main base, which is sort of rebuilding. A lot of things you could be doing here. But he really needs to do something fast, because if Silene is led to just consolidate the entire mid-island and get this huge amount of reclaim, it's going to be really painful. Maintaining naval control is certainly solid, a good goal to have. And you can see Silene is trying really hard to get back into it. Actually, one thing you could do is make a T2 HQ in the middle, and then you can just try spam T2 support factories on the outside and not have to be remaking a HQ every time, as it will probably die thanks to the amount of navy that that mountain has around the place. But yeah, the air control, that's what he needs to be using mostly. Get the Corsairs out. It looks like he just wants to get a snipe away, but yeah, he could be denying. All these 4 major expansions can be denied by T2 Navy. Can't do so much against these other ones because there's no missile cruiser for the poor Cybern or the poor Aeon. So let's see what's the option. Certainly denying this main island again. That's pretty good. Should kill these nice mexes. He could wipe this island completely and then drop it. Make sure he gets all the engineers in the factory this time. He left 1 engineer behind, and that lets Silene back into it. So let's see where are these Corsairs gone? Okay, back at base. He's just making Corsairs. He's just making Corsairs. Let's see if this is going to be successful against an underwater shielded commander. And the torp bombers, they're all just getting out of fuel, which is not good for a snipe. We also have, well, it's good that Silene has basically stopped naval, or well, no, he's just making arties. Could be dropping these harbingers if he had any air. Flex and shields for Aeon can go into the water. That's going to help him a lot versus any snipe, and he definitely sees a whole lot of Corsairs. And these are just on attack move. He's just yeah. Corsair's pretty good versus this kind of shit here. You can just like 1 pass, just kill all of these. They don't have enough HP to survive a Corsair, the Corsair missiles. We could even be attacking here. There's a couple flak, but he could say there's a lot of pigeons here that could go down. And it's say if you take out these 3 pigeons here, it's likely that the shields would go down after that, and then you can do even more, or just take out the HQ, and then there's not going to be more flags out. There's probably too many here now to get more than 1 pass, or maybe 2 for some of the lucky Corsairs. But we are seeing a lot of things die. Rip all that reclaim as well. Yeah, it's like 20 arties. Probably don't need so many of those. This area seems relatively secure. More mechs is going down. But oh, there was this T2 HQ is right here. That died somehow. Oh, maybe he killed it with the arties. Damn, that's actually kind of cool. T3 mechs. Whoa, okay. That's worth killing. Main base, he is actually taking it over. He's dropped it. Nice. Just needs, again, the APM difficulties of this map. It's T3 mechs. So under attack. It's actually even worth it to just do damage to it, because people, if you kill the storages, because people will do this and oh no, he's not actually. It's not actually assisting the mechs. So I was thinking that the NG would automatically repair it, which would obviously be like building it again, but oh, there goes the T3 mechs. Well, I think definitely good decision not to go for the snipe. It wouldn't have worked. He could have perhaps made like 40 torp bombers. That might have worked, but he's killing a lot of stuff around here. But is it enough to get back into the game? I wonder. He's doing pretty well, maintaining complete naval control. He has a lot of scouts around. This is pretty nice. This is kind of voodoo style scouts. Just give a massive waypoint and stream them all around so you can see everything. And we have T3 air, and he's making interceptors probably by accident, or maybe he was just doing that while he was building the T3 pigeon. So what will we see? I think he's way behind in terms of eco, which is a serious problem, but I don't know what Silene has in mind to actually end the game. We have T3 air from Silene as well. And yeah, more naval production. This is just not happening. Ooh. Quite a few ASF out already, but they're sort of idle and the cruisers are moving in. Okay, he's moving away now. He escapes. And yeah, he's been slowed down so much by those Corsairs. They did a lot of economic damage. But we could, I mean, this should be dead. He could just stand here and kill these. He would have to micro against the mountain. Would have to micro against the T3RDs, but should just target them down first. They'll die pretty fast. And now Silene with this air control should be able to clean up the outside of the map. Or at this stage, you'd nearly just make a GC, to be honest. If you can't spend your mass, might be best to just build an experimental right now. 10k in the bank and about 100 income, 200 income maybe, 150 thereabouts. Let's see what the option is. Cruisers being targeted. This guy just barely survives. So let's see. We have a lot of torp bombers. You definitely want to continue building more T3 pigeons and more support factories. Probably better than if you want to go for air. You probably want to just build more support factories so you can. So you need a lot of build power to make use of all of this mass. Here come. Oh well, here comes an air loss for sure. And the torp bombers are not used very effectively. at all. And there's the GC, but maybe just too much build power being used here. But it's gone up so fast, you can see, because of all that mass of the bank. So we'll probably just see a GC. It shouldn't be tall enough to actually stick out of the water, I'm pretty sure. How far can these arties reach, I wonder? Well, for a second I thought it was this, but no, he has a TML up. He has two TMLs up. Definitely a good decision. He can TML some PGens, and except for this cruiser in front, does have TMD. Nice use of the cruisers here to actually secure air. And now he probably just naturally send them back, even though he doesn't know there's a TML here. Probably send them back, and that would protect him. Thanks to cruiser TMD. 64 kills. That's massive. Oh, it's kind of hilarious that he lost two T3 PGens and is not stalling. And now he's lost almost all of his power production here, and he's not stalling. Must have Ras, I guess. Wherever his commander, there he is. Yeah, he has Ras. He's making some gunships. And now, yeah, he moves the cruisers back. Oh, he actually... Guess he forgot the FTMD. Now we have T3 Navy. And actually, Silene got back in the water. Wow, right next to his base, he's got a T2 Naval HQ. Yeah, good luck dodging those Cybern battleship shots. The GC is done, it's on the way. That should end the game, I would say. So, yeah, you can see the difficulty in playing this map. It's very, very big, and there's a lot going on. So, it's hard to know exactly what to focus on. I mean, but I think a good bet is always air drops. You can see how much damage he did with Mountain did with just the Corsairs. Killed a lot of important stuff. This T3 mechs over here. A lot of T2 mechs around the place. Navy certainly useful, but I think the timing is pushed back a bit in comparison to some other maps where Navy is just the be all end all game winner, game ender. It's not exactly the case here. This GC, oh, we have ripped that HQ. GG. There it goes. So interesting. We saw the split between Silene won the middle island, and as you can see, has no part of the outside. Mountain does have the outside, but it wasn't enough. I guess most of the shit is on the middle, or in the middle, I should say. Yeah. Yeah, about 30. A few missing there. Mountain, meanwhile. Yeah, he's missing a few. There's not quite as many mechs on the outside. But Interesting game. This was very quite bizarre to just have basically your entire base here at Silene. Did well to hold this position and then eventually push in. Almost killed Mountain here with the Harbs. So he was down very low, like 4 or 5k. But eventually, basically Silene just concentrated his firepower into the Harbs and was able to push Mountain off the middle island. And from there, it was a pretty secure victory. More income, safer income, and yeah, well played, both players. So thanks for watching.